Caregiving can feel overwhelming. Some days feel impossible. If you're caring for someone with Alzheimer's or dementia, we want you to know this. You are not alone. There is help. There are resources, and there is hope. Alzheimer's and Caregivers. Greetings and welcome. This is Gut Punched, Alzheimer's and Caregivers, the not-so-sexy podcast, episode 108. Caregivers, we're glad to have you here today. I'm Jeff Edwards, your host. How we doing? Good, I hope. On the podcast today, we will return to our interview with Dr. Lauren P. Brown of the Alzheimer's Experience Part 2. Now, we aired Part 1 in episode 102, and you can blame it on your host for taking so long getting to Part 2. But I had 4 recorded interviews that were stacked up, and they all needed to be edited. And my goal has always been, when I interview guests, to make them sound as good and professional as possible, so it's easier for you, the audience, to listen to. Now, this is a process that takes a lot of time, some as long as 12 hours. I know. Wah, 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 wah. Besides that, Dr. Brown and I had a fun conversation, and I think you're going to enjoy it. And here's a question for you to ponder. Is ultrasound therapy the cure for Alzheimer's? We'll hear about that. Plus, we'll hear from Dr. John Huffaker in What's New with Alzheimer's and another listener question. And this one is about men versus women. Okay, let's go. Let's get her done. We are proud to be supported by the Neuropsychiatric Research Center, a clinical trial center dedicated to advancing research and treatment for memory loss and Alzheimer's disease. And the fine people at Heart, Body, and Mind Home Care, nationally acclaimed, award-winning, your best choice for home care. And live younger today. Learn how you can activate your stem cells for health and vitality. Check them out online at liveyoungertoday.com. If you're new here, our 5 tenets or rules are the backbone of what we do, and they're easy to learn. 1, you must take care of yourself, because if something happens to you, who is going to take care of your loved one? Number 2, you can't do this alone. You need help. Find a good caregiver group. Number 3, make a list of people, friends, relatives, or coworkers who have offered to help, then actually use it. Number 4, create a help signal. Identify a cue or phrase to confirm your loved one is comfortable with receiving help from someone else. And number 5, caregiving. Love it or hate it, it will be your life until it's not. So give it your all. Up next, part 2 of our interview with Dr. Lauren Brown of the Alzheimer's Experience.
We'll be right back to Gut Punched, Alzheimer's and Caregivers.
Your memories are precious. The people you love, the moments you cherish, the life you've lived. At Neuropsychiatric Research Center, we believe your brain deserves the very best care. If you're 50 or older, we invite you to a free memory screening event designed to give you clarity, hope, and valuable insight into your cognitive health. This test has the potential to identify Alzheimer's-related changes earlier than ever, in giving people more time, more understanding, and more ways to prepare. By taking just a few minutes for a confidential memory check, it can help you establish a baseline, give you a peace of mind, and connect you to research that may change lives, including your own. Neuropsychiatric Research Center, 14271 Metropolis Avenue, Fort Myers. Take the first step towards protecting your brain for yourself and the people who love you. Visit nprc-southwestflorida.com or call 239-939-7777 to schedule your free memory screening today. The p-tau 217 blood test is available only to participants who meet eligibility criteria.
This is Gut Punched, Alzheimer's and Caregivers.
Dr. Lauren P. Brown's mission is to transform the way we see and support those affected by Alzheimer's disease. Through proactive education, compassionate support, and hands-on training, she empowers caregivers, healthcare professionals, and families to navigate the complexities of dementia care with confidence and hope. Lauren's work is rooted in the belief that true progress in Alzheimer's care comes from a combination of knowledge, empathy, and empowerment. Her services are designed to meet the unique needs of individuals and organizations, offering interactive training, personalized coaching, and advocacy support that foster compassionate caregivers. We talked several weeks ago, and we aired part 1 in episode 102. Now, 5 episodes later, I have finally caught up, or at least partially. I had 4 interviews in the can, as they say, but all needed to be edited, which can take hours and hours. Dr. Brown and I had a lot of fun during our conversation. We laughed and we talked, but I cleaned it up a lot, really. And now, here is part 2 with Dr. Lauren P. Brown, speaker and trainer at the Alzheimer's Experience. I'm on the phone with Dr. Lauren P. Brown. Hi, Lauren. How's it going? Let's get right to it. How do caregivers maintain connection and dignity?
It's kind of twofold. One of it is the caregiver's emotions. And caregiving for a person with Alzheimer's has emotions that people don't even dream of. So just living a nightmare. So you have to be able to keep your emotions in check. Kind of like when you have a toddler and they're trying your patient. You're not going to freak out on them. You have that control and that composure. Now, I am not saying someone with Alzheimer's is like a toddler. I'm using it as a parallel.
Sure.
We need to have that same patience that we do. They can't do that, or they are afraid to do this. So all behavior is a form of communication. And what we think that when they're angry, that they're just being difficult. But anger is made up of fear, hurt, and frustration. So it's like blood, right? If you see blood, the blood is not the issue. The issue is, where did it come from? Right? Do we need stitches? Do we need, the police? Right? Where did it come from? So where is the anger coming from? With someone with Alzheimer's, a lot of it is probably going to be frustration.
Right.
And if they're angry and you receive that personally, and now you're angry, and this is just going to escalate, and it's not good for anyone, as opposed to, hey, I can see you're upset. How can I help? Now, here's the thing. Did you ever take a foreign language in school?
Mm-hmm. Number of times.
And do you remember? Yeah.
4 times.
I may have done it, but think back to when you had homework, especially early on. So you had to think about, okay, what does this ask? How do I respond? What is the word that I want to use? How do I put the other words in the sentence so it makes sense? And so we would do homework, and it would take probably like a solid 1 to 3 minutes per question. It would just be so much effort. Well, it's the same process for language with someone living with Alzheimer's. They have to think of, what are you asking? What's the word? How do I want to say it? Right? It's a huge process, and we tend to have moved on already. So it is better to say things like, to give the 2 choices. Okay, are you hurt or are you sad? And when I work with my autistic students, I give them a thumbs up, thumbs down, right? Give me a thumbs up if you're hurt, if you're angry, if you're, right? Because guess what? They can do that, and they can communicate. We give kids so much more grace than we give those people who have raised us. Okay, why do we always go, do you remember blah, blah, blah? And then we get mad that they don't remember. So if I say to you, hey, Jeff, do you remember when you were at the grocery store the other day and you met that person? Right? We have to think about it.
Right.
But we don't put that same pressure on ourselves. So instead say things like, hey, I remember when we blah, 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 and it will trigger their memory. So the memory thing is kind of interesting that people don't understand. Oh, they can't tell you what happened yesterday, but they sure do know what happened 20 years ago. Yeah, because it's like Pac-Man. Pac-Man eats away the most recent memories, saving the oldest.
My question with that, is it our language and how our society tends to talk to people nowadays? If you go back in history, people were a little bit more formal. They were polite. Nowadays, it's just like, okay, well, you remember this? I just told you that 10 times. What is it going to take?
Right.
As opposed to what you just gave as an example. When we were out last week, we met this blah, blah, blah. Do you remember that? And it's a nicer way to ask it, but Is it because are we so fast paced or just are ignorant? Is that a fair assumption?
Let's use the word impatient.
Okay.
Because I think impatient might be more because we're already at the defensive because we're dealing with this mental health stigma and ageism, and we're afraid we're going to contract it,
Mm-hmm.
And so, okay, so they're impatient. Oh my goodness, you've heard the same story 900 times.
Mm-hmm.
901 just now. You know what? There's going to come a point in time that you wish they could still do that.
Yes.
Because they won't at all.
Yes.
My favorite story, and this is really what started piquing my interest into memory issues in elderly. My father-in-law had dementia, and he went through this period, probably a week, maybe longer, of just saying there was a boy in the water, the bell rang, the water came, the boy was no more. The boy was in the water, the bell rang, the water came, the boy was no more. So his wife was losing her mind, listening to this over and over and over and over. Well, he obviously witnessed some trauma, and those memories way in the back are coming forward. So I go up to him, and I'm like, and he was from Rhode Island. Sorry, let me give you the back part. He was from Rhode Island, and most likely that bell was that they were getting ready to release the water, and the boy didn't get out in time. So he probably did see a boy drown, and he was reliving that. I went, Grump, the Coast Guard saved him downriver. He's fine. What? Yeah, didn't you see it on the news? The Coast Guard got him. He's all good. Oh, okay. And it stopped. And his wife was like, how'd you know that? I didn't. It has to resolve his trauma.
That which they hold forever and ever. And until they get over that, they're going to keep doing that. People say, well, I got to go find my mom. Well, your mom's been dead for 50 years. But you can't.
Yeah, and saying that is probably the worst thing you can do.
Right.
Because they're going to relive that shock of hearing that for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
But now they're also going to feel guilty that somehow they forgot that they've been dead for 50 years. I have to go see my mother. You know what? I haven't seen her, but I promise you I will let you know if I do, because that woman's been dead for 50 years. I will tell you if I see her.
Right.
No, live in their reality. Frankly, it's probably a safer, happier place anyway.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to be correct. We don't have to suck them back into ours. It's safe there for them. I had a woman in a care facility who could say 2 words, chocolate and coffee. That's all you need to know in life.
Mm-hmm.
If it was a good day, she'd be chocolate. If it was a bad one, she'd be like, coffee. Yes, ma'am. She just knew. And I was still doing Bible study with the group because I was the chaplain at this facility. And I started talking about World War II. And do you remember, hey, Bibi, do you remember when your husband came home from the war? And I kind of expected maybe a nod or something else. And this woman who could say 2 words could give a 3-sentence explanation of how happy she was. And he came home and he was safe and we had this party and da-da-da-da. She already knew those words. She already knew the context. So you know what? Let her live there.
Yeah.
Make us much happier than 2 words.
You're right. And one of the things that you see as a caregiver or a family member, or we're not educated enough in this field on these topics to be able to do that. And that's where training comes in and learning how to do things.
So I'm a nerd. I'm a huge nerd. And I have written 5.5 books, all about different perspectives of Alzheimer's. So Step Into Their World, Making Sense of Alzheimer's is a Alzheimer's 101. First page says, for those who are afraid to visit. And I have that on Kindle for free on Amazon. If you go to amazon.com/author/Lauren P. for Patrice Brown, it will pull up all of the books I've authored. And several of them are on Kindle for free.
Well, that's really good.
I do carry a lot of my special education training over to those who are living with Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
Again, I am not treating them as juvenile. I am saying that they have similar thinking processes. I have a student who's a selective mute. He's been through so much trauma in his little life that he barely speaks. And so when I see him upset and he's not going to tell me, I'm going to do the thumbs up, thumbs down. Okay, well, I go visit grandma and she seems out of sorts. I'm going to give her the thumbs up, thumbs down to ask her what's going on. And it's not that we're treating them as juveniles or disrespectfully. I would never do that. But it's a simple way that they can communicate. And if we can't get them to come to our reality with our communication style and skills and ability, then dang it, we have to go to theirs.
There you go. You brought me right back. And while I'm talking, I just remembered how I wanted to tie that in to get to where you said get to their level. I interviewed a former governor of Wisconsin. His name was Marty Schreiber. He wrote a book, and it's called My Two Elaines. And I learned a lot from this gentleman. He's like 85 years old now and still speaking. But the thing that really stuck out was we have to get down to their level, not try to bring them up to our level because they can't go there. We need to go back to their level and communicate on that level. And it made a big impact on me and realizing that, think about it, Dopey, this is what you need to do. Get down there and create a relationship on their level, not try to bring them up. A great conversation with him because he was a little bit older. He had the experience and said, you're going to try this, and this. Not going to work. You got to go down there.
Or it'll work, but it'll work once.
But what he did was do it a different way. And he was able to have a nice relationship with his wife until she passed. That's being smart. That's being educated. I don't know. I'll figure out the word for that later. But yeah.
It's loving that person in front of you.
That's it.
Maya Angelou has a great quote. People may forget your name, but they will never forget how you made them feel.
Yeah.
When I would teach psychology and I would teach students about Alzheimer's and how Hollywood does a terrible job portraying them or dementia, say, look at this man. Like, yeah, he has high dementia. What? Is beaming from ear to ear because he knows that Allie makes his heart happy.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't tell you who he was, but he knew that she made him happy.
That's strong. It really is. It's strong.
Conversely, there was a woman who got super frustrated at her husband one time and said, I could just walk out and leave you and you wouldn't even know. And he remembered that until he could remember nothing else.
Wow.
Don't leave me. Don't leave me. And we remember things with emotions attached, and that was a negative emotion that stayed attached.
Yeah.
Similar to the woman who lost her mom.
Talking to people on both sides, what would you say to an overwhelmed caregiver who is completely alone, has no idea which way to go? What do you tell them?
First of all, don't be completely alone. When I did my dissertation, 10 women told me they didn't know others were going through the same experience. That's not okay. You need someone who is either going through that same point with you at the same stage with their people or even a step or two ahead. Right? You need someone who has been there for that support. Then there is also just the self-care. Statistically, 30% of caregivers die before their person.
Yes.
Caused by caregiver burden.
Yes.
Almost a third. That's a terrible statistic. And what happens to your person then?
Right. That's my number one rule.
If you're on a plane.
My number one rule.
Yeah.
Take care of yourself because if something happens to you, who's going to take care of your loved one? End of story.
Right. If you're on a plane, they always say, if the oxygen mask drops down, take care of you first. Because if you don't have oxygen, guess what? You can't take care of your kid.
That's right.
If you are not nourishing yourself, you can't nourish and take care of anyone else.
I like that analogy.
You have to do that.
Yeah, that's a good analogy if you think about it. And people don't.
And I think, this is a speculation, but I think some of it has to do with the fact of, well, my mother is suffering so badly, how could I go and help? Did you know guilt was the second most said word in my dissertation when I asked them their emotional experiences? I feel guilty because I'm enjoying myself. You can't do that. And if you're a parent, cognitively intact, they'd say, go have fun.
Right. So they're assuming that their loved one would make them feel guilty, so they are already accepting it before it actually happens.
I don't even think that they think their loved one will make them feel guilty. I think it's self-imposed.
Yeah.
If my mother's living with this, how could I have a good time? Well, because you're still alive and you're still able. So I think that's
so
part
selfish.
of the struggle.
That's selfish. Come on.
It is. It really is.
But you need to do it.
Right? Because, if you are by yourself, that's the first thing that has to change. Find support. There are support groups all over the place. And not everyone is right for you. find the one you click with.
So we've talked about a lot of different things. So I'm going to ask you a really, really tough question. What is the best way for listeners to reach out to you? And your website is the AlzheimersExperience.com. Is that the best, is that the best way to reach out? You mentioned earlier about books. There's a link and et cetera, but how would you prefer that to happen?
If you go to that website, because it's easy to remember, just go there. And there's a reach out on email. I am happy to give whatever support I can. Mm-hmm. I have some people who will, shoot me a text at, 2 a.m. Like, I'm not going to respond to you at 2 a.m. because I won't make any sense. But I'll get back to you. And sometimes you just, am I crazy for feeling this way or thinking this? Or no, it's hard. It is hard. And we need to give caregivers that acknowledgement. I have deep respect for caregivers because, you know what? This is a lot. This is a lot.
Yeah.
And you know what? If there's anything that I can do to help, I absolutely will. You are a superhero walking the earth, and, you have your FedEx ticket to go to heaven. Oh, come right to the front of the line there. Express mail. I don't know. I like Beam me up, Scotty. Whatever transportation mode you want.
There you go. Well, I'm going to close it with this. Thank you, Dr. Brown, for the work you're doing and for helping all of us better understand how to show up with more empathy and compassion.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
Dr. Brown's website is the AlzheimersExperience.com. We're coming back with, is ultrasound therapy going to be a cure for Alzheimer's?
We'll be right back to Gut Punched, Alzheimer's and Caregivers.
Every day, I talk with people who say, I don't feel as sharp as I used to. My energy is low. My memory worries me. Hi, I'm Peggy Sealfon, board-certified health coach and caregiver. I share patented science-backed technology supporting your body's natural repair, helping improve sleep, cognition, and vitality. Learn more at liveyoungertoday.com. liveyoungertoday.com.
This is Gut Punched, Alzheimer's and Caregivers.
Okay, here's an article called Experimental Ultrasound Therapy Treats Alzheimer's by Lindsay Allison. An innovative treatment for Alzheimer's disease may be on the horizon. Japanese medical startup Soundwave Innovation announced that it has raised about $17 million to fund an ongoing late-stage clinical trial that uses ultrasound wave therapy to treat early-stage Alzheimer's disease. According to the Wall Street Journal, the investors include Singapore-based venture capital firm iGlobe Partners, along with existing backers such as Tokyo-based investment firm Fiducia and Sumitomo Heavy Industries, as well as domestic and international venture capital firms, medical companies, and individual investors, the startup said. Alzheimer's disease affects more than 7.4 million Americans aged 65 and older, and globally, over 55 million people are living with Alzheimer's and other forms of dementia, says the Alzheimer's Association. Now, the low-intensity pulsed ultrasound therapy called Lipus-Brain uses low-intensity pulsed ultrasound delivered through a device worn on the head. The therapy is designed to improve blood flow in the brain and reduce the buildup of amyloid plaques, protein deposits linked to Alzheimer's disease. Now, researchers believe the ultrasound waves stimulate the brain tissue and lining of the blood vessels, which may enhance circulation, support healthier blood vessels, and potentially improve brain function. The clinical trial began in October of 2023 and is expected to conclude by the end of this year. If successful, the company hopes to seek regulatory approval as early as 2027. Soundwave Innovation is also considering a public offering in 2028, with another round of funding expected in late 2026, according to the journal. So they're trying. They're looking for things to help people with Alzheimer's. We'll see. When we come back, what's new in Alzheimer's with Dr. John Huffaker, and he'll be tackling the long-questioned men versus women.
We'll be right back to Gut Punched, Alzheimer's and Caregivers.
If you find that it's time, you must start looking for a good home care company for your loved one. I would like you to consider talking with Heart, Body, and Mind Home Care, a nationally award-winning company for 3 consecutive years. They are top of the line in service, number 1 in the state of Florida. They will tell you service is their passion, excellence is their promise, and that is the honest truth. They are very knowledgeable and skilled at what they provide. On top of that, they are just really nice people who love helping others, supporting all medical needs wherever you call home. They are Alzheimer's and dementia and Parkinson's care specialists. You can find them on the web at hbmhomecare.com, or you can call them at 239-603-6455. And you'll find a link for them on our website, gutpunch.com. Heart, Body, and Mind Home Care. Your best choice for home care.
This is Gut Punched, Alzheimer's and Caregivers. What's new in Alzheimer's with John Huffaker.
Ramona from Connecticut is asking, why do women have a higher incidence of getting Alzheimer's than men?
The first part is something that we all know. If you think about it, Alzheimer's single biggest risk factor is age. And who lives longer? Women typically live longer than men. So the number one thing is, truthfully, the fact that you live longer puts you at a higher risk of developing Alzheimer's. So that's the first part that it makes it pretty cut and dry. The second is a little bit more of a suggestive theory, is that actually when women go through menopause, that loss of estrogen that they get going through menopause actually loses some protective ability for Alzheimer's. So they think women, as they go through menopause and lose the reduction of estrogen, they actually become at a higher risk of developing Alzheimer's. It's a theory. There's been some research that supports it, but that's not, say, a concrete known thing, but it would make sense. And I think if you couple the two things together, you're living longer and they've gone through menopause, puts them at a higher risk.
Okay, thank you very much. And next, we'll look under the June spotlight again, and then we'll look at our resources. I received this from the Dubin Center. This June, we recognize Alzheimer's and Brain Awareness Month, a global initiative led by the Alzheimer's Association to raise awareness, inspire action, and support the millions of individuals and families affected by Alzheimer's disease and other forms of dementia. Worldwide, more than 55 million people are living with Alzheimer's or another dementia-related illness. Throughout the month, communities everywhere are encouraged to break the stigma surrounding cognitive diseases, promote early detection, and support ongoing research and care efforts. How can you get involved? Good question. Go purple. Purple is the official color of Alzheimer's awareness. Wear purple throughout June to show support, spark conversations, and help spread awareness in our community. Practice brain-healthy habits. Small lifestyle choices can make a big impact. The Alzheimer's Association encourages habits that support brain health, including regular physical activity, nutritious eating, quality sleep, social engagement, and keeping your mind active through learning and problem solving. Share resources in education. Now, understanding the warning signs and the importance of early diagnosis can help families access care sooner. Visit alzheimers.gov for trusted information, caregiver resources, and educational materials. Together, we can raise awareness, support those impacted, and work towards a future without Alzheimer's disease. Our resources are very important. If you're not sure where to turn or how to connect, we'll be here to help bring you trusted resources. Reach out to the Dubin Center at dubincenter.com. Then there is the Neuropsychiatric Research Center. Find them at www.nprc-southwestflorida.com. And Heart, Body, and Mind Home Care at hbmhomecare.com. And you can check out the Alzheimer's Support Network at alcsupport.org. And to find your local chapter of the Alzheimer's Association, you can visit their website or call their toll-free hotline at 1-800-272-3900. They also offer an outstanding resource called Dementia Care Navigation, powered by Ripple and the Alzheimer's Association. It provides free personalized dementia care, including a dedicated care navigator and tailored resources for caregivers and people living with dementia. You can get connected by calling 855-271-2662. That's 855-271-2662 to get connected. We also mention the guide program frequently. It's another excellent resource that provides help and respite care, and it's free. You can search for it online or visit Dr. Perry's HealthSpan Partners at https://healthspansouthwestflorida.com. Another resource worth checking out is Aquilane Clinical Research at aquilaneresearch.com. And here's another one, the Alzheimer Support Network at https://support.network. Our website is gutpunch.com, and the email address is gutpunchedac@outlook.com or jeff@gutpunch.com. And thank you to each and every one of you who has taken the time out of your busy, stressful day as a caregiver to listen. We truly appreciate it. You're helping to grow our podcast and its impact for caregivers. Thanks for joining us. And if today gave you even a little hope, hold on to it. God bless.
This has been Gut Punched, Alzheimer's and Caregivers, with your host, Jeff Edwards. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to us on all the platforms, like Spotify, Apple, Pandora, Podbean, and more. If you have a question or want to get in touch with us, our email is gutpunchedac@outlook.com or jeff@gutpunched.com. Caregivers, you don't have to do this alone.
I've been gut punched by the weight of that call. I've been gut punched when you don't know me at all. I've been gut punched as your memories fade away. Yeah, I've been gut punched. I wish there was another. That hollow feeling deep inside when the doctor says the truth. No cure waiting on the other side, just time we're gonna lose. But I won't run from what's ahead. I won't let you fall apart. Even when your mind lets go, you'll still have my heart. Now it's slipping day by day. You're losing pieces of your world, and I'm begging them to stay. If the day comes you don't remember me, it breaks me in two. But I'll still be right here, like I've always been for you. I know it's not your fault, it's this disease we fight, but you're still my everything that will never change in life. I've been gut punched, yeah, it cuts me to my soul. I've been gut punched, watching pieces of you go. I've been gut punched, but I won't let you face this alone. Even when you're lost in the dark, You gave me love that built this life, and a daughter to carry your light. I can feel you still inside, even lost in this fight. And when the world you knew was gone and nothing feels the same, I'll be your memory, your voice, calling out your name. I've been gut punched, but love don't fade away. I've been gut punched, still I'm choosing you each day. Through the silence, through the pain, through the fear we can't outrun. You may forget the life we built, but I'll remember enough for two. No, I won't forget, not a single one. I still choose you. You're still the